YouTubers abusing the platform and manipulating their audiences as a whole is far from over. But the BetterHelp fiasco, and those who jumped on the sponsor without giving two thoughts about it because of money, this chapter may have come to a conclusion. Just not the conclusion we expected. Right at the sundown of this debacle, we discovered, thanks to PewDiePie and Drektanis, that the testimonials on the BetterHelp site were fake. A paid actor who didn't know what BetterHelp was came forward to tell his side of the story.
Since I released my first video, I've actually been contacted by the guy in that video. His name is Rob Spence. He is a paid actor on the website Fiverr.
I guess we can go back to the very beginning. So before we start, it definitely said in the script to say Julian says. I want to make that very clear. I did not mess with the script whatsoever. No, I take full ownership of my scripts. I know them well. I didn't fuck it up. I think that was about 30 days ago. I probably did that job, maybe about a month ago, maybe. And then it was literally the other night, my partner's brother texted to say, Rob, you're on this PewDiePie video.
And the thing that really confused me about the testimony that you did is, this is where it's weird, okay? Because you said that you sent us a review, didn't you, that the customer had left you after
That's
you
right, yep.
stopped. And from that review, it was sort of hinted that that was the customer that sent you that. They'd had a good experience with BetterHelp, but they were too shy to do their own video testimony, so they hired you to do it.
Correct, yes.
But the review says Julian says, so that implies that the customer is called Julian, but you said that the person that left you the review is not called Julian, ergo, the person that paid you for the job is not Julian, so they're not the customer.
Absolutely, yeah. So whoever
we can draw our
hired me,
conclusion from that.
Yeah, whoever hired me, their username wasn't Julian. It didn't have any, Jules 123 or anything like that. I had no indication it's Julian whatsoever. But on the flip side of that, also there is no indication that their username. Let me put it this way: the username wasn't BetterHelp. That's what I'm trying to say as well. So whoever this person is, it could be anyone. Whether BetterHelp applied them down the line, I don't know.
The red flag for me was, I hired him because I was too shy to leave my own video review. Okay, so you had such great service with this website that instead of just leaving a written review like a normal person, you decided to go on a marketing website and pay a guy to leave a video review for you with a script. I love a lot of things. I love a lot of companies, but I've never had such great service that I felt inclined to purchase an actor to talk about it for me. That's so strange.
For me, just to answer that really is, so I can sort of put a line in the sand and say whoever did hire me, their username wasn't Julian or anything like that, and it wasn't anything to do with BetterHelp. Never once did they introduce themselves as BetterHelp or as anyone really. Their profile, when I've kind of researched their profile since it's all come out, says they're based in Albania. It says they're located in Albania. Once again, whether that's true or not, that's out for debate, but that's what it is,
Seeing as how the YouTube campaign was falling to pieces, BetterHelp decided to go heavy on Facebook, with forced ads going into people's chats. As well, the company is still a long way to go in regards of fixing the information they have on mental health. Some of their information, as you can see, contradict official sources. Agent of Doubt tried reaching to Elon Matas so he could clarify some of the things said and done by the company. The response was lackluster.
I am writing an email to Philip DeFranco and to Elon Matas, who is the CEO of BetterHelp, and I'm doing so because Philip DeFranco just did a video I watched, and in it he said that if we had any feedback for him, we could send it to feedbackfromthenation@gmail.com. He left a link to a Medium article from Elon Matas, which says not much more than what Phil had already said that Elon said last week, but at the bottom of this article from Elon Matas, there is a link that says, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me directly. And then when you mouse over it, there's his email address. But I still feel like my concerns were not addressed at all because they're just a little bit different. So here, I'll read my email that I'm sending to them. It goes, Dear Phil and Elon, I'm a YouTuber who made a video sharing my thoughts about BetterHelp this past week. I also had fair use clips of my video featured in other YouTubers' videos. I'm also an addiction counselor in Colorado, and my concerns were those of a clinician. If I could boil my concerns into one question regarding the discussion of BetterHelp sponsorships, it would be this. How do you rationalize it as not being an unethical multiple relationship when you are paying your clients who have received your clinical services to advertise those same clinical services? Please reference the American Psychological Association's Ethical Principles of Psychologists and Code of Conduct, specifically in tandem, these sections right here. And then I signed it. Okay, so I'm just going to click send on this, and hopefully we'll get a response. Hey guys, so I got a response from Elon Matas, the founder of BetterHelp. He responded to my email to Philip DeFranco's feedbackfromthenation@gmail.com. 2 a.m, I got a response from Elon Matas, and it read, Hi Michael, thanks for reaching out. I'm not sure I understood the question. If you refer to the use of the product before recommending it, one could argue that it would be unethical to recommend something that you haven't tried. The counseling relationship is with the counselor and not with us as the platform provider. I'm puzzled to how this would be positioned as a conflict of interest, exploitative, or a barter transaction. I'm happy to speak over the phone if you'd like to discuss further. Let me know a good time and number to reach you. Best, Elon. And then at 5:24 a.m., I hit send on my response to him, which read, Elon, thanks for responding. As a clinician, I've referred clients to hundreds of programs I have not had to use myself before recommending. And I encourage others to refer people to appropriate services if they see someone in need. You don't have to be clinically depressed to recognize someone else who is. In your response, you describe someone who recommends something that they have tried, but the reality of the BetterHelp sponsorship of YouTubers is that they are recommending something they are being compensated to recommend. The addition that they themselves were given the opportunity to try BetterHelp as part of the deal creates a well-known psychologically manipulative advertising ploy, the I'm not just the president of the hair club for men, I'm a client routine. The barter transaction is in reference to BetterHelp services having monetary value, but being provided gratis as part of the sponsorship deal. The exploitation is in reference to structuring a business relationship such that your client is equipped with a psychologically manipulative advertising ploy, and this business structure is the basis for them having become a client instead of what should ethically begin a counseling relationship, which is the client's own need for care. The conflict of interest is in reference to searching for people to be both a client and a compensated advertiser for your platform, which obviously creates a multiple relationship. I see that you attempt to distance the counseling relationship from the BetterHelp business entity to rationalize this as not unethical. I can think of no analogous therapy business in which the clinicians that are contracted to it are allowed to disavow themselves from the ethical problems of multiple relationships created by their employer solely because they are contracted employees. BetterHelp is not a hands-off third-party referral service. BetterHelp is continuously involved in the care of clients as the billing agent and the platform through which clients are scheduled and receive care. As such, BetterHelp should operate ethically as a provider of care, be vigilant in not skirting APA guidelines, and not create multiple relationships with clients. Also, I'd like to say that I recognize that BetterHelp is a groundbreaking service that is going to have a lot of firsts in terms of navigating the ethical pitfalls that new technology brings, and I'm confident that in time you will create precedents that will help ethically guide your company and others. Signed by me.
BetterHelp is no small company, having operated since 2013. If they are willing, they can fix their terms of service, business practices, and how they handle payments and customer interaction. They have to. After everything was said and done, some YouTubers still sponsored BetterHelp.
I just recently made a video about mental health ethics. So with all this BetterHelp online therapy scam stuff going around, it's time for me to get really honest with you about these services. So there's this small channel, Memeology, and I saw one of his videos, I think it was about H3H3, and that was kind of ridiculous in and of itself. Then somebody linked me another video by Andrew something. I just watched that and, all right, but full disclosure, okay? I'm gonna try to do this in the best way possible. Full disclosure, I have an affiliate link with BetterHelp. It's down in my description, I usually pin it in the comments, all that kind of stuff. So you might see some value. Something that this guy brought up was how expensive BetterHelp is. I almost rolled over laughing, just so hard. So let me tell you this, I don't promote anything that I don't believe in. That's a fact. My girlfriend uses BetterHelp. One of my other really good friends uses BetterHelp, and why would I have these people very close to me in my life, use this if it was awful, right? Like, I've mentioned it before, my girlfriend has an absolutely amazing therapist and has made leaps and strides in her mental health, and she was already doing pretty well, but like this has helped tremendously. BetterHelp is just a middleman. They are linking therapists up with people. Therapists with people. Now, they do a vetting process, deal. So my girlfriend was actually very fortunate. The therapist that she was linked up with, not only is she from our state, she's from Las Vegas, and my girlfriend has been able to meet with the therapist in person, all right? So yeah, this guy says, you know, he tries to point out that they can't guarantee, like, yeah, because a lot of that is like subjective, you know what I mean? It's subjective about linking you up with the right person, but most of the time, yes, like, there are therapists who specialize in trauma or addiction or, you know, borderline personality disorder or depression or anxiety or certain therapies like dialectical behavioral therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy. So this this makes that person specialize in that area, so they try to match you up the best as they can. But in order to cover their butt, they say like, we can't guarantee it. So they try their best. They try their absolute best too.
For those who stopped the sponsorship, some of them apologized, while others deflected the blame onto the audience, calling everyone who disagreed with their opinion cynical. H3H3 got sponsored by BetterHelp just once, but interestingly enough, he was one of the creators spreading the mentality that if everyone does it, why should we care about the terms of service?
And so, first of all, I want to make clear, okay, first of all, we had one sponsor with BetterHelp that was 2 months ago, and the topic of mental health was not brought up in association with our read at all.
Yeah.
And to the best of my recollection, I don't think that we even talked about it in that episode.
I don't think.
And it predated our update video when I talked about being depressed by a month at least. Okay. But here's where I think people got thrown off, because PewDiePie made a new video about it. And he goes through the terms of service and he points out a lot of questionable things, which is fine. And he doesn't like the service and he raises good points about it. But the way that he presented my involvement in it, I thought was a little misleading and a little out of context.
I am not dragging these people. It's just for context. Full disclaimer, guys. Just context. No, for real, it is just context.
H3H3 was one of the creators that said PewDiePie, being one of the YouTubers with millions of subscribers, has the responsibility to make sure his choices don't affect other creators and the platform. But when the time came for him and others like DeFranco to be accountable and do their due diligence, he went and threw PewDiePie under the bus once more for having a different opinion than him.
And it made it look like I was way more involved with this company than I was. Or even that, it made it look like I used my being depressed.
Yeah.
It just hit a wall where it was gotten so bad that it was basically either stop making videos or disappear.
Also, this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. More
Okay.
information about that.
So the way it's cut makes it look like my video, my update video, was sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's what I felt when I saw it too.
Yeah, and I thought I was like, whoa, like,
Why would that be there?
yeah,
It's
like
not-
that gives
yeah.
totally the wrong impression, because I've never talked about BetterHelp and depression ever. In fact, when I did the sponsor read 2 months ago, I didn't even endorse the product because I have never used the service. We checked it to make sure that within 24 hours a therapist contacted us, and they did. So we did some due diligence in that regard to test out the service, but I never endorsed it. I never said that I used it to treat my depression either. But at any rate, let me stay focused on this. That seems like the only reasonable conclusion to make is that he's calling me out, which is, I was like, dude, what the hell? And I was pretty upset with him, and I contacted him directly, and I was like, hey man, what's the deal? And he says he didn't mean to make it look that way, and he made a comment trying to clarify, but people that read the comments compared to the people that watch the video is very small. Okay, made.
So that it was kind of.
And I think that PewDiePie, who's the biggest YouTuber in the world, talking about this, people take it seriously. But I don't think, like, this, it's a weird standard to make, that you want the expectation that anyone you ever work with, you're reading the entire 20-page legal document of the terms of service. Like, I don't think very few people in the history of YouTube have ever read the terms of service. But from the flip side, think about it from their perspective. Someone like Boogie, Philip DeFranco, Bobby Burns, I don't know, Shane, everyone. Think of it from their side instead of being so cynical and thinking that it's this elaborate scam. To them, it's a win-win. And I think that people are being way overly cynical about this. And it's just another example of, like, I don't know. It just feels like one of these things that just making YouTube even more toxic. I think YouTube's gotten way too fucking toxic, way too overly cynical. And when you start throwing good, honest YouTubers under the bus, I think we need to reel it back a little bit.
Hope you guys don't mind getting a little cozy and chilling in the condo with me. Believe it or not, this is the cheapest condo in Toronto. But yeah, I'm swimming in money and taking advantage of people with mental illness, right? Check out this video by PewDiePie. He had a 10-second clip of me, and it's about this BetterHelp scandal, which we're going to talk about in this video. What I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. That's what expression's all about, right? Expression, the definition. The process of letting your feelings and thoughts be known, and that's what we're going to do today. So in this video, he had a clip of me, and people were very quick to judge, but I commented on the video, and PewDiePie actually liked my comment, and many people did, because I was very honest and straight with them, but there are many that were quick to judge. Many people emailing me, actually, many people commenting. How dare you take advantage of people with mental illness? How dare you profit off of someone with depression? How low can you get, you scumbag? How quick people are to judge, eh? How quick people are. For all you Jesus fans, he who is with sin, cast the first stone. Remember that one? Remember that one? Well, people are very quick to judge. They must be perfect themselves. They've never made a mistake. Never. The ethical police come out in situations like this in these videos. So to the people that have judged me, thinking that I only do YouTube for money, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had an original thought? Have you ever thought critically about anything in your entire fucking life? You watch a video on Pew News, you read a few articles, and you think you know everything about every YouTuber that promoted this service? You think that we're so terrible, we're just terrible human beings and only care about money. You think I'm just swimming in cash and taking advantage of those people who can't think for themselves. Unbelievable. You know nothing about me. You know nothing about me, and you don't know anything that I've been through. You don't know that I have a mental health channel. And in this community, we are extremely empathetic to those with mental illness, and we do our best to help each other. You don't know that I was one of the first mental health YouTubers out there, and especially one of the first male mental health YouTubers. You don't know that. You don't know I've uploaded over 600 videos on this channel about depression and anxiety. You don't know that. You don't know for the first 3 years of YouTube I didn't make $1. And now, guess what? I am finally making a lot of money on YouTube. About $1 a video. Yeah, 1,000 views equals $1. I get about 1,000 each video. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. I'm swimming in cash. Idiots. Judgmental pricks. Well, to you, my friends, I'm not gonna convince you anymore, but in the mental health field, I'd like to think I know my stuff. Worked at psych wards before. Worked for the Canadian Mental Health Association. Do talks around Toronto and schools and businesses. Worked at Twitter for a while. Worked at social media agencies where I was in control of millions of dollars to promote social media ads. And I know a lot about affiliate marketing and how that works. You know nothing about affiliate marketing, yet you're so quick to judge. You're so quick to judge.
In regards of DeFranco and his network, which were at the center of it all, keep in mind that his network was not the only one handing sponsorships to other creators. However, he chose to be at the center when the time came to defend BetterHelp.
I just need to address this bullshit before moving forward. I usually do not stop for every barking dog, but this has gotten to a situation that is just ridiculous. Also, in addition to the people that regularly watch this show, the people that are coming to this video just to shout that I'm a scammer and I should go kill myself and all the lovely things I've received over the week. So to create this narrative that there was nothing but bad things being said about this company, it's very transparent of what a fucking hit job some of these pieces are. Following this success, the positive reaction, I negotiated a deal with BetterHelp to make it so that I could also connect them with other YouTubers like an ad agency would. We connect some content creators, we set them up, we handle their daily numbers, we make sure they get paid. If they have any questions or need any help, we can be there for them. And then on the other end, BetterHelp, if they have any questions regarding, do you think this person would be good or something along those lines, we can advise. And for all of this, like an ad agency would, we take a percentage of the sponsorship. As far as why we would want to operate as kind of a small third-party ad agency is that's been a small goal of our company. As I mentioned before, we had this sponsor that was just seen as a winner on all fronts. And at the same time, I knew of several creators that were having a hard time finding sponsors for their fantastic content, and so it just seemed like a no-brainer that we would take this win on all fronts, connect those people, we'd handle everything for them, and then like an agency does, we take a small percentage for the connection and the upkeep. And this part dives even deeper into our long-term business model. It's been a side goal of mine to have an in-house sales team, have essentially a small agency. I mean, everything we do is crowdfunded through DeFranco Elite.
This caused a schism among his fanbase, with several members of his Patreon and channel subscribers abandoning his brand. He revealed the creation of an ad agency funded with Patreon money, something no one knew, not even his Patreons.
So here we go. We're gonna start off.
All right, I've got the first question for you, and it's from Sally, who says, "Hi Phil, can you please talk more about this ad agency thing you guys have been working on? I was shocked that your BetterHelp video was the first we'd heard of it, and I have to say I'm disappointed. I admit I haven't seen every single town hall or Q&A, but I've watched what I can, and I didn't realize that this is what we were funding."
So, it's not what you are funding. Everything we do is crowdfunded through DeFranco Elite. And I'm so frustrated with myself because in that video, I believe it was Monday, where I tried to address so many different things, I ended up not wording certain parts fantastically and thus making it very easy to assume or just not dive deeper where you can just think that it is the worst thing. Your DeFranco Elite dollars are not funding that kind of side project that I want to develop. For all of this, like an ad agency would, we take a percentage of the sponsorship. Same as that does not fund our merchandise arm, Shop DeFranco. All DeFranco Elite money goes to the projects on the first channel, projects on the second channel. Right now we're working on, we're not calling it a DeFranco Elite website, but an actual news website. That's why we're really doubling down on the size of the researcher team. And several of them have been trying to not only do the research, but to write out, and we're testing the back end of that site. So that's not the thing. And also, like, so for example, when we're doing the budgeting behind the scenes, our merchandise arm, like, not only is it not DeFranco Elite money, like sponsorship dollars don't go towards that. Even though it's not fully sectioned off as far as the budgeting, like Christie's salary, that is all related to the merchandise. So same as this other thing that we eventually do want to build, which is not even a thing yet. Right now, like as sponsorships, Amanda and I are the people going out and connecting it, which is actually ends up taking away from us being able to produce more shows. And it's like something that we are dealing with as far as bring those in for the existing shows, but it is also necessary because, and I really hope it doesn't come off as dismissive, and I say that because my words have been taken in so many different ways this week that I don't know what is the right way to say anything. Like DeFranco Elite dollars don't fund everything that we do. Everything we do is crowdfunded through DeFranco Elite on the first and second channel, especially with how we've been building out the back end. That's like the sponsorships make it up and allow us to kind of expand from that. It's fantastic and it's great, and like we wouldn't have been able to get to this point without it. But yeah, that's hopefully I hit all the notes, but yeah.
Yeah, I know that was super important for like you to say after the show went up and we saw, people asking, and we were like, guess we didn't make it clear enough. We need to address this, which we knew we had this coming up.
Yeah. So, but I also didn't want to include it in every Philip DeFranco show because it's just like.
Still, DeFranco made sure to try and clear things up for his reputation. He failed.
Yeah, I need to, and as far as that, I'm trying to get up there on Friday. I'm talking to the third-party journalist that I got into this whole conversation tomorrow at 4. Hopefully everything continues. But yeah, it's still, all of that's still progressing and trying to get answers and handle the situation.
He promised to go to the BetterHelp offices and get answers along with an unbiased journalist. We all waited. The result was lackluster. The journalist was from Polygon and posted an article that didn't provide closure, while DeFranco lost on all fronts by posting on Twitter, claiming he visited the offices with no video proof of it. He was wishing to sweep this under the rug. Unfortunately for DeFranco, the poor taste left on his viewers after such a response didn't go unnoticed, with both of his channels and his Patreons receiving a noticeable blow. Now, will this have lasting consequences on those who deflected responsibility and cried wolf? Who knows? What I know is this: people opened their eyes. Let this serve as a cautionary tale to creators and fans alike, but mostly to creators. Think twice before seeing your viewers as just a paycheck.